Welcome back to today's video. My name is Duamel Bentley and I am excited because today, honey, we're indulging this gorgeous phase with gorgeous products. We have been kind of shopping a little bit by Sephora and I feel like the time has come for me to sit down and do an actual review. Literally my first review of the year, number one. Number two, I haven't done a review in such a long time. Listen, it's not that I don't prioritize you guys and it's not that I don't love you. I love you so much and I prioritize you every single day in my head, but life gets crazy sometimes. And I will say this is the beginning. This is the initiation, honey. The toe is in the pond. You know what I'm saying? So let's get started. I want to talk about what we're going to be using really quickly. This is going to be the correctors by Huda Beauty #false filter corrector. Now, we have done a review on the actual concealers. I did a little kind of small, cute little moment, brightening up everything and just was gorgeous. I don't know why I hadn't tried the correctors. I just have a couple of orange correctors at bay, honey, and I just wasn't attracted to the tones because I already had them. However, we got new shades in. One of them is going to be Pink Pomelo, and the other one is going to be a Cherry Blossom. Now, these are more rosy undertones, which I'm very excited to play with. I have one to kind of correct any kind of darkness. Now, it's not something that I deal with quite a bit. I'm looking for my mirror. Hello, where are you? Now, I don't have a lot of darkness here, but I will definitely say that if you have any blemishes or you want to kind of correct, let's say, for example, the beard or anything in regards to color correcting, color blocking, I thought this would be a beautiful shade for it. They are very creamy. They are beautifully made and formulated. The boxes are stunning. You can kind of see the shades here for both of the ones that we did. I'm very excited to have the Cherry Blossom. I love the powder. We have the powder pressed, not loose, because it's so hard to get. If I'm honest with you, I've scavengered left and right and no luck yet, but I'm still hopeful. I literally had to fight tooth and nail for these two. I was like, these are mine. So I'm happy to say that I'm definitely excited to have this in my hands and I'm excited to play with it. Now, I have prepped my skin. We are moisturized. We are primed. I also did grab the Huda Beauty. This is their latest launch, is Peach Pie. I'm kind of excited about this, at the same time a little nervous. I normally do a lot of brightening powders and Peach hasn't been one of them. So this is cute. Philippe has been using it and it looks phenomenal on him. So I'm very excited to use it on me. We'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, we'll have to fix it somehow, some way. And last but not least on this video, I do want to play with the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvets. We did get 3 different shades and decide which one I love the most. So I'm gonna need your help leaving a comment down below, letting me know what in the hell you're vibing with. So let's get into it because we have to look gorgeous in 3, 2, 1. Starting off with the corrector, I do want to use Pink Pomelo kind of underneath any areas that I have some trouble with. I do love that this concealer corrector is such a creamy consistency. It's already a good amount of coverage. And the reason why I want to do this one first is to kind of let it sit in to kind of give me the best coverage that it can offer me. I do love that for someone who wants to correct their face, but doesn't want to necessarily do such a dark cast underneath the eyes, this is a great option for you. So you can either go with your fingers. My hands are sanitized and cleansed. I do recommend anytime you're working around the eye area, I'm a little weird about it. So I always recommend to cleanse your hands, sanitize them at least, especially if you're working with a client, This is cute. It feels really soft and creamy. Almost like nothing, truly. I can't. Oh my God. And that blended out so well. It almost just brightens and freshens me up without really that much work at all. Cute. Okay. For foundation, I am going to be doing the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Stay All Day and Night Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Now, a lot of people have used this. A lot of people love it. A lot of people might not see eye to eye with it. A little tip that I can give you that has worked really well for me is to have very hydrated complexion. I feel like when you're using any kind of foundation that's going to be a fuller coverage, you definitely want to go a little bit heavier on the foundation prep instead of just then pumping a whole bunch of foundation. Your skin will thank you for it. So let's get her on the face. I always like to give her a good amount of shakes. For any troubled areas for like oily or you have more accentuation of pores, texture, etc., I like to kind of just use primers. I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty one. This is the Pro Filter Instant Retouch. It's actually a really, really lovely primer. I've had lovely success with it. And, you know, especially pairing it up with a foundation that is a matte, this will work really beautifully together. I feel like Fenty Beauty is such an exciting brand. Used to be extremely, extremely popular, but I feel like it kind of fizzled out. And even though they do have beautiful product launches, I almost find myself saying like, oh my God, I never knew when this launched. And I'm kind of on top of the launches, especially with like these great channels that are so helpful. I give it like 30 seconds. I do have my little kimchi chic fan here. And I just want to like lightly set it. I'm going to be using, I want to say like a pump to start with, and then we're going to build from there. This is very cute. I've always had very lovely success using this foundation. It definitely, you know, can be built, but at the same time, you don't really need all this much foundation to make it work. And I still have some left over here. So I'm just gonna grab, this is the Melt Cosmetics foundation brush. I'm just gonna be pushing it kind of into the bristle to get a better application. I almost like to, you know, I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I don't like to throw away or discard things if they still have usage. So for example, in this case, the foundation, I like to kind of whack it into the actual brush to avoid any kind of waste. Now, I sometimes feel like this foundation looks a little Simpsons-like. She's very yellow, she's very bright, but I feel like when she warms up, she's just perfection. And this brush, honey, she like airbrushes you. Melt Cosmetics has a lot of really beautiful items. We have a lot of items from Melt that we haven't fallen into and played with, but definitely we are going to start doing it. We've been buying their collection, supporting the brand. We love both of the brand's owners and really respect anybody in the working industry of business and cosmetics. You know, it's just incredible to see all the work that they put into it. And I'm just proud to know that, you know, they're women owned, they're Latina, and, you know, mixed cultures involved into the company. For coverage, this did really well for one pump. For the sake of longevity and for the sake of just like playing games, I did half of a pump, or not even half. I just did like a little sneeze of a pump, and I'm just gonna work it into like the areas where I feel like foundation can kind of scuff off quicker, literally as I'm applying it everywhere, or where I may need a little bit extra coverage, because I really do like how this foundation has laid on the skin. I feel like a lot of the times when we're using full coverage foundations, if you're using a sponge, it's gonna look really pretty, but I feel like it's gonna defeat its purpose, right? So it's going to start like killing the coverage. It's gonna start kind of absorbing a lot of your expensive product. And I love sponges, do not get me wrong. I live for sponges, but I feel like it's always nice to have options, right? It's always great to know like, oh, okay, I can get a thinner coverage, but a more airbrushed, full covered effect, you know, utilizing a brush. So yay, love her. She's cute. Welcome to the party. For cream products, we are going to be a little high maintenance today. We are going to be using a sculpting shade, which is a little bit more cool tone, if not quite a bit more cool toned. And I'm also going to be working with the cream bronzer. This is shade number 2 for Charlotte Tilbury in cream bronzer. And for the balm, this is Danessa Myricks Beauty in Fair 01. And it doesn't really say anything on this package. I've literally used this once. And I would just say the cream contour or the cream bronzer. It's very cool toned, which I appreciate because I've been really looking for a product that is very, very cool toned, because I used to use this one as a cool toned contour, and I did like it, but I just felt like I wasn't getting as much definition. And you can see it's pretty neutral. I want to say quite cool to the eye, but when you compare it to something that looks a lot more gray, I feel like this almost has more of a golden hue, which is stunning on the skin, but I just want a little bit more sculpt. So you're like, I wonder, where would you apply this? So the recommendation lies that when we do apply this, I need my hand mirror, here we go. The recommendation lies that when you're applying the gray one, right, the really, really cold one, you want to do it almost in the pocket of. Now, I don't have a lot of pocket. My face right now is, you know, semi-rounded. So what I like to do is I like to kind of do a like that. And I can immediately see where I can kind of start the guide. And I want to definitely dive into this and kind of explore. I don't know if it's going to be a lot, because I did it. First time I used this was on a like natural makeup day. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be really cute and it's not going to look super duper crazy. But you know, you live and you learn, honey. And this is makeup. We can always take her off if we must, you know? I'm going to do a little bit on the nose too. Not being super careful with the placement because I'm gonna soften everything out. I'm gonna do something, just a little something right above the arch of the brow. I just love like when that's kind of smoked out and just creates depth right in that section where the sun hits you. I'm gonna use the same brush to kind of caramelize and melt all colors together. Okay, that blended out quite easily. I did like that, kind of deepen it just a smidge with this one. I think this is the best combo because this is kind of a neutral golden and that's so cool toned. So this will kind of mesh with the gorgeous foundation shade we have going on, but still giving us this gorgeous warmthness and color to the skin. I like to do concealer last so I can ensure to make it as smooth as I possibly can underneath my eye. So we have kind of contour, bronzing, and creams. I do want to do blush, and I'm going to be using 2 different shades and 2 different brands. I'm going to be using Peach of My Heart by P. Louise in cream, and I'm going to be using Liquid Flush Cheek Tint. This is going to be by Monica Blender. So I really like both colors. I definitely think that I want to do something that's going to be fresh and very pretty. And these girls will give me that fantasy in like 2 seconds. Now, this is quite a bit of product here, but I'm just going to grab the Ittiest Bittiest from Monica. Just a very cute kind of nude tone. Mix both of those. I've applied the blush. It's definitely looking very gorge, very peachy, very juicy. Now, if you're someone who's like nervous about if this is going to be too much, don't you worry. We still have to powder and kind of contour and sculpt the face with powder. And this is going to look just perfection at the end of it all. So let's hop into now correcting and concealing the eyes. I'm going to be using a little bit of that pomelo again, just to kind of give it an extra juice and an extra layer. It is very fine, so I'm not really going to be doing so much on it. But I just want to show you guys how buildable this formula can look and can be. Perfect, we got that down. I am going to be using the new Fenty Beauty We Are Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer. I love a hydrating concealer. I love anything that's juicy and dewy and delicious. Packaging is super fun on this one. It kind of reminds me of like a ketchup pack. I wasn't obsessed with the doe foot. I'm not gonna lie about that. I feel like there's better doe foots out in the industry. This is okay. Definitely for one dip, she's dipping, honey. It looks really, really high coverage, which I'm not mad at. I'm gonna be using literally the same one just to kind of blot the areas that I just want them to kind of have a little glimmer of color instead of like a super massive brightening effect. Honestly, this is a beautiful color. It blended out really, really nicely, very quickly. It's gorgeous and bright. I do want to add the cherry blossom because I do like that kind of fresh pink effect. Now, let's see how this looks. Oh my God, I don't know. This is looking really cute. I do want to brighten it just a smidge, so I'm going to drop just a little bit of droppy itty bitty right in here because I don't want it to kind of like go darker. It looks fresh. It looks honestly really, really cute. Now I am going to be using a color corrective powder, which is in this case is that peachiness kind of warm powder. Let's see how this looks on top of this. This is literally first impressions on all of the things that we're using except for foundation and bronzing and contouring. Although this is the first time I do wear the contour. I feel like I'm rapping. It's the first time I wear the contour like the way I'm doing it today. So let's get this powder. I'm kind of excited, a little bit nervous, but you know what? Let's live, honey. Let's do what we gotta do. Where's my powder puff? Darling, darling, where are you? Where did you go? Powder is not the most brightening powder. I do love it. Formula-wise, it's always gonna be that beautiful formula that she's carried and kind of played with for a while. I'm gonna add some of the cherry blossom that I have to brighten her up because I do not necessarily want such a dull underneath eye, but not as much. I want to see how this is gonna look because this is serving me very natural, which is not bad. I want it a lot more brightening. So we're kind of sculpted out with powder. I'm gonna be using the number 2 medium soft radiance bronzing powder by Huda Beauty. This is in the glowish line. I love how soft and gorgeous these are. They're very coconutty, which is always nice. I like to kind of start stamping the color into the face and then we can buff out. For blush, I'm going to be using the One Size Cheek Clapper. This is going to be an Intention Seeker. Using this guy, and I want to tap it in very lightly. Done. We're kind of baking. I'm loving this blush, and I'm loving how like everything's kind of like softly sculpted. Now, I am going to be pulling an oldie but a goodie. This is the Blue Blood. I've been craving like a blue smoky kind of situation. I want to kind of elongate and make it very cunty and cute. So hopefully this works out because I haven't played with blue in a while. And it's honestly not my fave. But I want to start off with Celebrity Skin. I'm just grabbing a fluffy brush, that on the lid. I am going to be grabbing the shade Priceless to kind of buff and swirl any edge that I might have left. Definitely just want something super simple, kind of gently smoked. I want the eyeliner and kind of the eye shape to be the girl in here. For my kind of inner corner space, I want to brighten it up with the peach and pink. These are untouchable and priceless. I want to go in and use my waterline pencil. I am going to be grabbing my Yves Saint Laurent. This is going to be in shade blue. They are waterproof and they work really, really well. So let me get this on my waterline. I want to get it on both the bottom and top. I do want to drag it out a little bit and see what happens because I definitely want to play with it. So I don't know. We're exploring here. For the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to be using the Lemon Head LA Glitter Gel. This is going to be in shade Electric Days. I want to concentrate it mainly kind of in the inner corners here, just to give a lot of dimension play on the eye. I'm very excited to use this. Felipe used this once and it looked so good on him that I was like, we need to get this done, honey. All right, you guys, so my look is done. Let's talk some real tea, some facts. I do have Felipe, King of the Kingdom, in the background. Hi. Darling, he's gonna be here to support us and help us through price points, little extra juicy details. I definitely want to bring in the experience factor. He has also worked with the product, so I'm excited to hear his opinion. So let's get started. I feel like traditionally we should start with like correctors, concealers, powders, and then lips, because I feel like that's the application method. Listen, sue me if you want to do it differently. Now, Cherry Blossom, Pink Pomelo, these are the girlies right here, right now. I thought packaging was super, super stunning. I loved how thin the formula was, but how full coverage and how effective it was on the skin. I built it. I did layers of the regular concealer, and then on top of that, I applied it. And to be honest with you, my eyes are looking really soft, really bright, really beautifully. What do you think, Felipe? Does it look heavy? I did apply a couple of layers.
It looks fabulous. I like it a lot. The product itself is $30 each of them. It's 9 milliliters. And the coverage is a medium coverage, natural finish, and the formula is liquid. It has vitamin C and niacinamide to call out two of the most popular ingredients here.
I love that.
I gotta say that when I tried it on my skin, it definitely felt a little bit more nourishing, very creamy consistency, but not heavy enough for you not to be able to blend it.
Well, it's definitely, you know, like the first, wanted to play with brushes, and I also wanted to play with fingers, which I did dab the first corrector layers with the finger. Again, shades I think are beautiful. I think they're great for gentle correctiveness without adding too much depth in the skin. So if you haven't had the chance to try these, I definitely do recommend them. I think the concealers are beautiful. Huda Beauty has done, the team in general, the chemist, everyone and their mother who's involved in this, have done such a beautiful job at creating, you know, complexion products. So I'm very excited to have this in my repertoire now, and I definitely will be utilizing this. I love the fact that you can use it as a corrector, as an enhancer, as a little bit of a moment. I'm excited. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. I don't have anything like it. So, did you love?
I love them. I would repurchase already. Like,
you would repurchase already?
Yeah.
Great. We're gonna have backstock and we don't even need it. So this is how it is, honey. Now, let's go into Fenty Beauty. This is the new concealer. I can't find, oh, here it is. I spoke too soon, darling. I couldn't find the box earlier, but it's called Fenty Beauty We're Even Hydrating Long Wear Concealer. Now, this is supposed to be very natural, good skin finish, hydrating concealer. I did find it to have quite a bit of coverage. Granted, there's not a severe amount that I have to cover it, but it did do the job. It worked really beautiful. It worked wonderful with the cross, you know, mixing in with the Huda Beauty. The pigment, the shade, they're just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't have any complaints about it. The only thing that I'd say it's kind of weird is that this packaging reminds me of a ketchup. Doesn't this remind you of ketchup?
No.
This reminds me of like a ketchup packet. I don't know why, but it reminds me of a ketchup packet. And I don't like that you can't, like, it can't stand. So let's say, for example, this one you can like put it like this and it'll stay like that. With this one, it literally has to be like on the ground, which is not an issue, but it's an issue. So it was cute. I did really enjoy the formula. Packaging was not an 100 for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. And the doe foot. The doe foot girl, no. This is like literally, do you remember Popeye and Olivia? Is it Olivia in English? Oliva or Olive or whatever. It reminds me of their shoes. And that's not a cute thing for concealer. Listen, there's so many different incredible doe foot applicators out in the industry. Quick example, I'll just grab this one from Lancome. Look at how powerful and gorgeous this is. So like, you can do whatever you want. There's so many different options. So why the heck, let's even go with the actual one from Huda, the faux filter. Like, look at this delicious little doe foot. It's cute, but not my favorite, I will say. But concealer, if you're looking for hydrating, gorgeous concealer, I did like it quite a bit. And colors were also really nice. They do have a lovely selection of pigments. What would you say, Mr. Felipe?
It's $30 for, I want to say, 9 ounces. I do notice just now that it says to be a 12-hour hydrating long wear concealer, that it's also waterproof. It says on the name of it says a waterproof concealer, but in the description it doesn't say waterproof at all.
Oh, I love that.
However, I did notice that the concealer wore itself very well. It was a little difficult for me to apply it just because I felt like it was too creamy and it gave too much of a full coverage. Formulation is liquid. It says to be medium coverage with the natural skin finish. Like, it has prickly pear extract, which is a humectant, hyaluronic acid, and Persian silk tree extract, which targets fatigue around the eyes. I like that. Yeah. I still have to work with it because I don't know. It's just like, you know.
The eyes, in my opinion, look wonderful. They really do. And I did apply a lot of product in there. So it is a really beautiful formula. I just want to think that maybe the money went to the formula, not to the packaging. But it being a brand like Fenty Beauty, I expected a little bit more. But I do love the design of it. I just found it impractical, and the doe foot is just not my girl. But I love to hear that it is waterproof. I love to, you know, I've had it on for actually like at least 6 hours now, and it's still looking like, you know, she's skinny Ani, but she's smooth and silky and iconic. I actually really do like it. It did really well. So if you're looking for a concealer that's hydrating, now waterproof, and medium to full coverage, to me it's like more fuller than medium. Definitely this is a girl to look into. Now, the Huda Beauty, the Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in the shade Peach Pie. Now, personally, I own a couple of these loose powders, so formula for me does really, really well. It's very finely melted, so it really allows the makeup to look very polished, but without necessarily being so heavy or gunky or almost cakey. Powders can do that sometimes. So people say they don't like it being scented. To be very honest with you, the scent is very, very gentle. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. One of my favorite powders is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics powder, and that one smells like cotton candy. I personally really like that. This one smells really delicious, very gentle, but it definitely, to me, I don't know if it's because of the name, but it smells peachy. So I did like it. I think it wore beautifully on the skin. Like, I feel like it doesn't leave any kind of like weird undertone. It's not gray on the skin. My only bone to pick with this is that it's not a brightening powder for me. Granted, I think for Felipe, it would work really, really well as a brightening powder. Felipe, when you tried it, did you feel like it was very brightening on you?
It was very brightening. The shade itself, I just loved it. Retail price is $38. It says to be loose powder formula, light coverage, matte finish, long wearing, cruelty free. It says to be having a vitamin C that moisturizes the skin, rice starch powder which absorbs the oil, and micronized powder that allows you to layer without caking. This product is formulated without parabens and is cruelty free and vegan. I do gotta admit that the product itself, it worked fantastic. I felt like I like this one better than the translucent one that she has, just because it suited better with the formula of the concealer Rihanna and the two Huda Beauty color correcting formulas. I just loved it. And then when I set it up, I used the Charlotte Tilbury powder. It looked phenomenal.
Yeah, I fully agree. I will say, in today's video, Huda Beauty laid the house down, boats, honey. Honestly, the skin looks really good. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised. I feel like even though I have a lot of powder and a lot of makeup on my skin, it looks really, really nice and wearable. I don't necessarily think that this powder gave me like a weird yellow cast or anything in that manner. I just, again, wanted it to be a little bit brightener or a little bit brighter than what it is. But truth be told, I'm super happy with using this all over my face and having Felipe use this for more of like a snatcher and like a bronzier kind of brightening powder. It's never a bad thing to have. And I definitely think this for the girlies that want to brighten the under eye and want to make it pink. Mixing this in, whether it's with the cherry blossom or any other pink powder, like for example, the one from One Size as well, the ultra pink. These ones can be mixed and create a beautiful brightened effect underneath the eyes without looking dull or contoured, because right, it gets a little cooler for richer complexions. So definitely a really cool product to have. I really did like it. Formula, again, just super, super iconic. I'm very pleased so far with the correctors. I'm very pleased with the concealers. I'm very, very pleased with the powder. But low-key, I kind of knew, well, I hadn't tried the correctors, but I kind of knew that the concealers were amazing because of the previous review that we did on this channel. This was like a couple years ago, if not like a year and a half. I don't even remember how long this was, but I was kind of like on ease when I purchased these because I was like, oh my god, let's see how these work. And I'm so happy with them. Also the powder is just, I like to collect powders too, because the reality of the case is that depending on the occasion, you will powder. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if she's on the go, we're doing Miss Charlotte. If she wants to bake and kind of keep it nice and silky and gourmand, we're gonna do her. If we want to be like filtered the house down boots, we'll do One Size. You know, don't get me started, honey. If you want to see a video of what do I think of which powder, what to do, what to wear, what occasion for, girl, leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe so this way you don't miss it. Now, we have lips, darling. We went in, I've been eyeballing the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip blurs. These are lip velvets. Lip blur, if I'm not mistaken, is from another brand. Baby, when I tell you, these are the most comfortable velvet lipsticks I have ever tried in my life. The colors are so complimentary, so beautifying, so amazingly comfortable. Honey, this isn't sponsored. It needs to be, but it's not. I will tell you, I really enjoyed these. Like the color selection, I selected 3 out of the 6 that they had. But if I'm very honest with you, I'm inspired to buy all 6 of them. I really am like wearing all of them actually right now. I have Hollywood, pure Hollywood kind of surrounding my perimeter of the mouth, kind of more center outside edges. I have Kiss, and then I have Peachy Nude right in the center. Mixed it in and just rounded it up with a Morphe lip liner. This is in the shade Trendsetter. But I will say I was very, very, very excited to try and play with these. They haven't moved. They're not drying. Even if I do this, it's so comfortable. So if you tried the Charlotte Tilbury, I'm going to call it out. If you tried the Charlotte Tilbury ones and you were not obsessed, these you will literally die for. So most definitely do not skip out on this one if you're in the market for like a really creamy velvety matte lip that doesn't enhance lines but doesn't really look dry. It just looks like literally like velvet on the lips. It's just gorgeous. It's comfortable. Even I think they surpassed MAC's formula for their velvet lipsticks. So obsessed. I'm so happy that I have all of these in my repertoire now. I need to find another word for repertoire because I feel a little silly Anna Marie saying repertoire, darling, all the time. I gotta expand my my vocabulary, darling. Oh, let's not forget about this gorgeous glow we've got going in the inner corner of the eye. This is actually one of the latest things we got. This is the Electric Days and Lemonhead Los Angeles. Honestly, I've had lovely success today with the makeup. I think this is something very different, not something that I would normally do. These kind of green and bluey tones are not my go-to. I don't know why. I love them so much. Like Felipe, for example, when he wears his blues, his peaches, his kind of like turquoises and greens, I'm like obsessed. Truly, this makeup look was inspired by a makeup look Felipe did that I literally was just like, oh my god, this looks so good. And every time I saw the picture or the video, I was like, this looks so good. So thank you, Felipe, for inspiring me on this glam. This is meant for you, darling. You guys, let me know what products are you into right now? What would you like me to try? I'm open. Honestly, I'm back and I'm better than ever. I'm ready to kill this. I'm just gonna have some fun and I wanna explore more color. I wanna just, I wanna play games. So leave a comment down below. Enjoy this video. Show us some love by thumbing the video up. I feel like a weird recording, but honey, with this makeup, which you want another robot, that's a no. So definitely subscribe to the channel and I, darling, will catch you on the next one. Bye.